Robots are on the rise, robots are taking our jobs, robots are creating art through AI. But at the same time, robots also have lots of benefits for humanity. They sow and reap our crops, they let people live relatively normal lives through prosthetics, and at the same time, they're a key part in many medical processes. So, technology and the living world, the natural world, have been closely connected since the Industrial Revolution in the 1800s, and now we have living robots. Living robots, or Xenobots as they're called, have been described as neither a traditional robot nor even a known species of animal. They are under 1 mm in size and are made from 500 to 1,000 cells from frog embryos. Specifically, the frog used is an African claw frog called the Xenopus laevis. Its stem cells were initially glued together using a microsurgery of a kind. They then turn into skin cells for structure and heart cells which can contract, allowing the thing to move. Now, it's really important to understand here that scientists don't actually decide the shape of these Xenobots, but an AI does. An AI uses biological processes or biophysical principles to determine how many heart and skin cells and where they should go. In this way, the number of heart or skin cells can increase, and also their place, quite crucially. They can take the form of many different shapes, like for example a molar or a Pac-Man style shape. Now, this isn't the first time that AI has been used with biology. For example, carbon nanotubes have been created to enter the bloodstream so that actually it can target plaque. These different shapes have allowed the Xenobots in aqua, or a liquid solution, to move, push small objects, and even hold them in a pouch. And in 2021, scientists designed them so that they even self-replicated, literally creating more versions of themselves spontaneously. They did this by collecting single cells together in their designed mouths, which assembled to form baby Xenobots. After a few days, they were fully grown just like their parents. This type of reproduction has never been seen before at the scale of whole cells or organisms, but only at the level of molecules. Now, biorobots, as they're also known, have many potential uses. For example, they could be used to deliver drugs into living bodies. They can also be used to remove toxins and microplastics from the oceans and dangerous environments, which is really important considering the key focus that the world has on climate change right now and the plastic crisis. Now, scientists specifically though are really interested in that reproductive element of the Xenobots. Specifically, they hope that it could lead to advances in regenerative medicine for diseases like Parkinson's disease. Now, at the moment, what scientists are trying to do, they're trying to replicate their study with the Xenobots, but this time with mammalian cells, which is something completely different. At the moment though, Xenobots, in whatever form, they're just not commercially viable. All of this takes place in what is being called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the merging of technologies that combine the digital, physical, and biological worlds together. The first industrial revolution was in the 1800s, where water and steam mechanised processes. The second was when electric power enabled mass production in the early 1900s. The late 1900s saw the third revolution, when electronics and information technology automated production. Now, this brings to mind the classic worries of robots taking over the world or becoming sentient. Now, the researchers are really clear with this point. Xenobots were brought up in a safe environment. Adding a little bit of copper or sodium would kill them instantly. The real issue though is the wider question of the ethics of living things. Now, to be really clear here, the scientists didn't create a living thing. It was already living to begin with. The Xenobots had the DNA of the frog species from which the stem cells were taken from. It therefore goes to follow on that if they created a brain, the brain itself would be a frog brain, from which the stem cells were taken from. But with the development of genetics and a greater understanding of DNA, humans have the increased ability to act in ways previously thought only held by nature, or God, or gods, depending on your beliefs. As advances are made, increasingly words like life might actually have to be redefined, questioning everything that we've ever known up until this point. Now, the truth is that bioethics, or technoethics more widely, isn't getting the attention that it deserves. Rules need to be put in place so these invisible lines aren't crossed by the established institutions. But actually, it's not the established institutions that need to be worried about, it's those lone agents who are outside of the system. Now, they don't have to abide by the rules of the scientific system because they're not actually in it. And similar concerns have been raised for independent lone wolves with technology to create dangerous biological weapons. As the technology becomes cheaper, it becomes more widely available. No longer do you need these fancy high-tech labs. You could just do it simply in your back garden. So it's really important that regulators and established bodies start to put down where these invisible lines are for bioethics, technoethics, anything related to the integrated use of biology and technology. After all, we wouldn't want Xenobots doing something more than they're actually supposed to do.